Hello and welcome to the Gimme podcast. It's SmackDown and I'm incredibly excited. I am incredibly giddy tonight, and you're all just going to have to bear with me while I feel like it's WrestleMania all over again. I'm so crazy. I'm so excited. Shall we have an intro while I compose myself? Let's have a little look who we're going to have today. It's got to be someone from WWE. We can't have AEW guys on this stream. I'm going to be talking to the boys about that. Thank you all for joining me. I look forward to having a little look at who's in a moment. Let's just have an intro from. We're going to have. Where'd they all go? Looks like we're not having one. We're not having an intro this time because I can't seem to. They seem to have vanished. This isn't going well, is it? Anyway, whatever. What are you going to do? Right. Well, whatever. The intros aren't there. I'll have to figure that out later. But how is everybody? SmackDown is here, and we are a week out from a massive pay-per-view. Money in the Bank is now one of the big five. It's no longer the big four. I'm fairly confident that Money in the Bank is now the fifth big pay-per-view. SmackDown has started. We've seen a recap of the awesome ending of last week's SmackDown, and I didn't see it coming. I thought they would just kind of spin the wheels, further the story a little bit, but no, double super kicks. Roman Reigns hits the deck. It's done. Bloodline, Civil War. I am getting way too excited about wrestling than a 35-year-old man should be getting. But I don't care. It's my job, and I suppose it's an important part of my life. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, would I? So let's have a little look who's in tonight. Who is in? We have got an excited me. Daniel Stevens, can't wait to see what happens with the Bloodline tonight. Me neither. I'm absolutely going crazy for it. He says, how are you, Sam? A little bit tired, caffeinated, and super psyched to see what happens tonight. I'll talk to you all a little bit about why and what's going to happen soon. Daniel's saying, see you all at 1 a.m. You certainly will. I hope you're still here. Michael is in. Hello, Michael. The comments look a little bit different. I think I know why. I think I know what I've done. That's me saying starting soon. Never mind. Normar's in. Hiya, Normar. How are you, mate? Nice to have you. It's always nice to have you. Michael saying hi to Normar. Huang's in. Huang, are you excited for what's going on for SmackDown? Some more seeing updates from last week. Oh, we were all a little bit tired last week. We were all flagging a little bit, and then bang, super kicks woke everybody up. I think me and Misfit were the people who were the most shocked and the most woken up by it, if I remember rightly. Michael greeting Huang, two of our regulars. How are you, Sam? I'm all right, mate. There's the super kick. There's the super kick heard around the world. I still want to see a Young Bucks versus Usos match one day. Don't know about you guys. That is something. I'm not even a massive Young Bucks fan, and I'm not even a huge fan of when they, have a match with someone who's a similar style to them. But the Usos versus the Young Bucks, now that I could get behind. But obviously, one's in WWE, one's in AEW. Seems unlikely for now, doesn't it? Hello, guys. We've got one here is saying Brock Lesnar. Yeah, he's cool. It'd be nice to see. I hope we see him at the pay-per-view, probably interfering in Cody's match. Again, there's nothing quite like seeing Brock Lesnar live, so I'm very much hoping we get to do that. Volterra, hello, mate. Nice to have you here. Hi to you too. SmackDown is starting. I think the Usos are overwhelmingly baby faces now. What we reckon? What we reckoning? Like, was that a baby face turn we got last week? I'd say so. Jay was already there, wasn't he? I would love the Usos versus the Young Bucks. I know it feels like it's in a parallel world, doesn't it? Though that it feels like it's a little bit something we're going to have to wait a very long time for. I know the Bucks have considered WWE a few times, but they've got a good thing going in AEW, haven't they? So they're probably not going to be going anytime soon. And the Usos are top of the world, aren't they? Looking very chipper for two dudes who beat up their little brother last week and their cousin. But let's not forget these guys are family in real life as well. It's still real to me, damn it. They are overwhelmingly fan favourites, though, now, aren't they? Look at that. They haven't acknowledged the crowd. quite that favorably for a while, have they? Do you know what? I'm getting a little bit OCD that we haven't had an intro. And I know when Ant and Dom see that, they're going to be like, "Where is the intro? Where is Shotzi?" So let's try and figure it out now, just to be consistent, shall we? See, I know what I've done. You see, I know what I've done. Just going to have to play with it a little bit. There we go. Oh, we're into AEW. I know I've disappeared. I'll be back in a moment. I'm just changing it from Ant stuff. Hello. Oh, look, it's AEW Dynamite information. We're going to get rid of that now. No problem with AEW Dynamite, but that's not what we're here for tonight. And let's get rid of that. Goodbye. Ooh, that's nice and brooding. I kind of like it. What about that one? I kind of like that one too. Or shall we just go with something a little bit more subtle? Well, it's a bit too blue. See, I had it all set up, but then the things weren't there, so. I've got an idea. Do bear with me, guys. I'll stop pissing about with this in a minute. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's have that. I'm feeling that. What do you reckon? Does that look good? Ant always has the little purple line, so it's good that I've got a blue one, so I'm going to keep that. That's my new favourite thing. Looks like I'm in some kind of TV. There we are. There we are. Huang saying hi. Hello, Huang. Huang is saying, I just came back to my house. I'm going to work today. Yep, me too. I'm very fortunate that I get to work at home, but it's still the whole the whole thing, isn't it? It's the whole 9 to 5 thing. But again, writing about video games and wrestling is something I very much enjoy. So I think when you enjoy your job, it's not work. I'm a big subscriber to that, and doing what you're passionate about and doing what you're good at means is a fast way to enjoy what you're doing and get success in it. I think as well. Never settle, I think, is what I'll tell my kids when I have them, should that day ever come. Hello again, Daniel. Glad to have you with us. Wang is saying, I don't like the Usos and the rest of the Bloodline, but they are totally over and done, and even finished. Well, yeah, the Bloodline's dead, Wang. Yeah. But it might live again in some way. Sam, have you played anything new? I'm not going to lie to you, Michael. I've been playing Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16. I forget how many there are. Those are the two main games I've been playing, mostly for work and a little bit for pleasure as well. But I have also been playing a certain wrestling game that none of us can talk about. I wonder which one that could be. But again, while it's still in its secretive phase, that's about as much as I can say. Otherwise, work will tell me off. So that's about as much as I can say. And for all you know, I'm talking about 2K. Huang is saying, how do you feel like the Bloodline is over? Well, I think it's happened a bit quicker than I thought it was going to happen. I thought WWE were going to do classic WWE and spin the wheels for a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm enjoying the story. I feel like it's a natural, it's a natural part for that stable to end. Like the Bloodline still exists, just there's two of them now. And I'm of the view that Roman needs to end up alone. I've said this so many times. It does need to. He needs to end up alone. The Usos need to go to war with him. My prediction, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but not often. My prediction is the Roman and Solo will do something horrible to the Usos at Money in the Bank. I'm looking forward to seeing that in person. Oh yeah. I think Gimme will take on Roman on his own. Some retribution for him being just so callously thrown away like a piece of rubbish by Roman Reigns. And then, and some payback for that time he was choked out in Hell in a Cell just to make Jay say, I quit. Remember that? Because he hasn't, and I haven't. Yeah, but I think Jimmy needs to get utterly demolished by Roman, and Jay needs to be the one to then have a long, bitter blood feud with Roman. And I think he shouldn't win the title. I don't think Roman should lose the title until WrestleMania. And I think his story and Cody Rhodes' story need to intersect once again. and we need to have a do-over, a series. You know, they've done that. WWE have done this before, not quite as well, but they have done this before. Yeah, I reckon Jay can regain his honor, but without winning the title. A little bit like how Sami Zayn did. Sami Zayn regained his honor, you know, got everything back. Essentially won the feud against Roman Reigns. He won the feud, he won the war, but he lost the battle for the title. But he won the war for the Bloodline soul, as we're seeing now with the Usos. God, we're getting deep at 1 a.m. Sorry, I'll just go back to some of the comments. Cam the fan. Hello, mate. Nice to see you. Daniel saying, I love the Usos and the Bloodline, but I'm so glad that the Usos did last week. You see, Daniel, I didn't know if you would be, because I know you're a big Bloodline fan. So I figured you'd be like Kinney, and you'd be like, no, it's collapsed. But yeah, it's good storytelling, isn't it? None of us can deny it's good storytelling. And I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea at all. Hey, how is everyone doing? We're all right, Luke. Nice to have you with us, mate. We've got a good crowd in tonight, actually. We're doing all right, aren't we? I know I've talked over the Usos superb promo, but you are watching a watch along. And if I don't talk over stuff, it's going to just be me staring at the TV blankly like. So we don't want that. Huang saying you had to make a decision. Either you still like the Bloodline or you hate the Bloodline. No, I disagree with Huang. I love the Bloodline. Love the Bloodline. The story, the stable, everything about them. But they're the bad guys. So we have to boo them. It's pantomime, isn't it? Wrestling is pantomime for adults and kids. But you know what I mean. So, but no, Daniel is a big fan of the Bloodline. So am I. But I think you could still sometimes root for the bad guys, because I'll tell you now, next week, next Saturday, I'm rooting for Finn Balor, not Rollins. I'm cheering the heel, and I have my reasons. I like the Usos and Roman, but I don't like the Bloodline faction. Oh, right. See, I didn't know that, Daniel. I thought you were a fan of the faction and everybody together. I didn't realize. Oh, fair enough. It's all good. Wang saying my choice that I've already made is to make my own decision is to dislike and hate the Bloodline. Fair enough, Wang. They are the bad guys. You're meant to dislike them. With me, though, it's kind of a love to hate sort of thing. Hey up, Misfit. I was wondering where you were. Nice to have you. Fightful have confirmed my report. I was going to a winning back. Quite to right. Well, we'll see if you're right, mate. We'll see if you're right. See, me and Andy did a stream earlier, Misfit, and we were fantasy booking it a little bit. And we kind of, well, me. It was me kind of talking at him on this one. Shocker. The idea was, the idea I had was, I love the idea of Io winning Money in the Bank, cashing in that very night, because Rhea Ripley is conspicuous by her absence on the card. And then what if Bayley, something happens between Bayley and Io in the match, and Bayley, out of revenge and envy, decides to ruin it for Io. And then, so Rhea's still champ, Io still won, Bayley scuppers her chances, Io and Bayley feud, one-on-one at SummerSlam. That's our feud building up to SummerSlam. That, I'm not going to bet my car on it like I say when I'm confident, because I need my car. But I am confident that's what they're going to do. And that kind of corroborates what you're saying as well, Captain Spoilers. Wang saying hi to Misfit. Misfit's always a good person to have around. He's got more scoops than we have these days. Daniel, you're going to have to wait for the review, mate. Deserto.com. A few days before the game comes out. I don't know what day. I forgot. I don't know off the top of my head. But the review will be live before the game is out. It's not me writing it. It's my colleague who's writing it, and he's brilliant. So I've been busy with Final Fantasy and Diablo, to be fair. But in these situations, we can't really say anything at all. We can't give any judgments because we can get told off if we do. So we're not going to talk about any games that are under embargoed that we may or may not have played, I'm afraid. Diablo and Final Fantasy are out, though. I can talk about them till the cows come home. They're both awesome. There you go. You know, something I've wanted to scream from the rooftop for weeks. But yeah, they are both awesome. And I'm torn between them as well, like some kind of rom-com where someone's torn between two lovers. I'm torn between two games. But anyway, Michael is saying, Sam, what if Jimmy turns on Jay next week? Because Roman made a good point about how Jimmy felt about Jay. See, I've heard a few people say this, but I think it would cheapen the moment last week. I think it'd be a swerve on a swerve. It'd be overbooked. It'd be putting a hat on a hat, as Jim Cornette likes to say. If they do it, they do it. But I'm of the view that the Usos need to. They could do it to spin the wheels. It would keep the Usos occupied. But then what's Roman going to do in the meantime? Who else is he going to feud with? Nobody. I think he's going to take out Jay, feud with Jimmy, do something horrible to Jimmy. Jay comes back, and that's the fight. That's the money match. But then I think it becomes a fight for the soul of Solo Sikoa, which will probably go on until even after the Royal Rumble, in my view. And I think Solo will be the last person to turn on Roman. Roman ends up alone, vulnerable. And me and Andy were even talking about, we love the idea of the United Bloodline, Solo, Jimmy, and Jay, and even Sami Zayn being stood on the ramp, looking across at Roman Reigns, and Roman realizing he's completely alone, and all the people who were with him, he's chased away. And then essentially Cody's just putting him out of his misery. We kind of were thinking about that. But I don't know, we're creatives, and wrestling fans, fantasy booking, what we do, but we're not the experts. We're not the bookers. So see what they do. But that is how I might write it if I was in charge, which I'm never going to be. So Daniel is saying, nope. I love Roman Reigns and the Usos. Would love to meet them. See, I'm at a press event on the Friday just before the SmackDown with Dom and Andy. So I'm very much hoping I can interview them. That'd be great. Or even if Dom interviews them, I'll be the man behind the camera. But yeah, very much hoping to. But the problem is when you're there as a journo, you can't ever be a mark. You've got to just be a pro and just like be nonchalant about them being there. You know, in LA, we were in a lovely bar, having some dinner. We were exhausted after the flight, and so many wrestlers walked in, and we just had to be cool. We couldn't like go over and get autographs and pictures, and like we did get a picture with Frankie Kazarian and Bully Ray when we were at the bar, but it was just because they offered, and we were stood at the bar with them. You know what I mean? So it was almost like because we were talking to them, it was almost like manners for them to offer. And it was we didn't feel bad about that. But that's why there was a real lack of pictures between me and the boys at Mania with any wrestlers, because we just had to be pros, really. And we saved our marking out for when we were in the crowd watching the shows. And Huang saying, if the Usos have not done anything bad to Roman Reigns or Sikoa, I would still have acknowledged the Roman Reigns a Tribal Chief at the head of the table. Am I right? I'm on the Uso side, though, Huang. I think Roman had it coming. I think Roman's been a bully. I think the story here is don't be a gaslighter, don't be an abuser, don't be a bully. I think that's the story, and the Usos have been his minions for so long, and enough is enough. And Roman made the fatal error of attempting to split up the brothers, the twins, the Usos, and he's never going to win that one, Tribal Chief or not. Misfit saying, SmackDown got Vince. I love that term. SmackDown got Vince. A lot of changes. Yeah, I heard that too. Let's hope it's still a good show, because the old guy does know what he's doing sometimes. You know, I'm a Triple H guy these days. I don't mind Vince being there as long as he's doing the big picture stuff, but I don't really want him in charge of creative. Thank you, Vince. Please let Triple H do it. That's just my opinion. If Logan wins, I'm going to be mad. See, I wanted LA Knight to win, but now I'm kind of thinking Logan might be the better option. But Misfit thinks Pete Dunne's winning, and he might be right. You know, Birmingham lad in London. But I'm starting to hear the arguments for Punishment Martinez. Forgotten his bloody name. I'm going half asleep. I'm getting old. The hell's he called? Damian Priest. There we go. Jesus. Yeah, Damian Priest. I'm hearing things that he might win, and I'm starting like Andy really sold me the argument for why he should win the whole feuding with Finn Balor thing. So I like that. I have to agree that the Bloodline would stop betraying each other too, Sam. Well, that's what heels do. But right now, I think that the Usos are now on the side of the Angels. Bailey versus Shotzi was pulled from SmackDown. Well, that's an interesting decision. I hope they do something else with Bailey and Io, because they sort of need to. They need to keep building that tension, don't they? Did you hate Logan Paul, Michael? I think he does. See, I'm a massive fan. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul's streams or anything else he's ever done. I don't watch his boxing because I don't watch amateur boxing. And he is an amateur. Actually, no, I think he's white collar boxing. I don't even think he's hit amateur stage. But anyway, because if you are a pro boxer, that is your life. You don't do no YouTube. You don't do anything else. Like that is what because I know them. That is what they do. There is. If you're an amateur boxer, the aim is to go pro. If you're a white collar boxer, it means you can be a very, very good boxer. You can even do it on massive pay-per-views like that, but you are not a proper boxer. You are a white collar. You are a YouTuber who does boxing, no matter how good you are. And I have to admit, Logan Paul is very good. But there you go. But yeah, I'm happy with Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul is made for wrestling. Stop me when I tell a lie. I don't think you had for that, Adam Cole. He's never had a bad match. His promos are very, very good. He's got nuclear heat. He's a heel, and he should be because he's so slappable. I'm down with Logan Paul being in WWE. I understand he's got other things going on, so they have to wheel him out at the big pay-per-views. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. He's an attraction. He's a special attraction. I couldn't give two stuffs about what he does on YouTube or his energy drinks or anything like that. But as far as the wrestling fan in me goes, I enjoy seeing him. As far as the reporter in me goes, I can't say anything bad about him objectively because he's not done anything bad. So there you go. Did you play Hogwarts Legacy? No, Daniel, I actually didn't. A couple of reasons. I think one of my colleagues did that one. I was busy doing something else. Like check out Deserto, you'll see probably what I was doing at the time. And I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I didn't really volunteer to play it or review it or any of that or do any guides for it. I just kind of let it pass me by. I actually actively dislike Harry Potter, so no, so I didn't bother playing it. I'm sure it's a good game. Hassan, you're right. Let me sort that out now, mate. I'll quickly do that now. Just going to get rid of all the AW stuff from Ant's stream on Wednesday. So on now. Bray, Stereo versus LA Knight. Ant did it all very professionally on Wednesday. He's like put for the championship and everything. Just going to do the vote there, Hassan. I'll be one moment, mate. Going to log into YouTube again. This is the bit where it shouts at my own channel, shouts at me. Oh, God, there's my talking head. There we are. Okay, let's get a vote. Who wins? I think tonight's going to be a good episode. I know we haven't seen much of it yet because we've been chatting, but that's what we're here to do, isn't it, really? Watch along and chat, so it's all good. And LA Knights. As I'm sure you know, guys, it's nearly 1:30 in the morning in the UK. And I've done a day's work and been to the gym, so I'm a bit tired. So you have to forgive me if I stutter on my words or do anything like that. But I'm with you for the duration. I'm really looking forward to that as well. There you go, Hassan. It's up, mate. Huang, can you play Hogwarts Legacy online? I imagine you can. So one for Daniel. Hey, Brother Fluff Salisbury. That's a brilliant name. Brother Fluff Salisbury wins the name competition for tonight. I think that Roman is somehow manipulate the Street Profits to going heel. Ooh, well, that would be a wrinkle to the story, wouldn't it? I think the Street Profits are ready for a heel turn, personally, because I feel like they've become a bit slappable, a bit sickening as baby faces, you know? So I kind of, yeah, I'm ready for them to, embrace the dark side and go a bit evil. Huang is saying, I do think I'll be watching the main event last Monday Night Raw. Yeah, Raw was pretty good this week. I was into it, but I'm excited by WWE at the moment. I'm also stupidly excited for Forbidden Door, WWE, AEW as well. So it's lots of good stuff. Oh, sorry guys, I've got itchy nose, killing me. Gross. Bidami saying, I want to watch WWE. Well, you know what to do, mate. Watch some WWE. Watch SmackDown. It's on right now. It depends where you are. You watch it on, if you're in America, it's on Fox. In the UK, it's on BT Sport and only BT Sport. We can't play it here. We can talk about it and do. Obviously, I've got it on right here, but I can't display it because we don't have the license to air Fox programming on YouTube. So we can't show it here, if that makes sense. Hassan is saying, today is my gamer. It's Sonic the Hedgehog's birthday. Yes. Yes, so it is. I'll tell you what, Hassan, as well. Sonic the Hedgehog was the first game I ever played. It was, I think, one of the Master System versions. And then when they did the Mega Drive version of Sonic 1, oh my God, what an awesome game. And I fell in love for life with video games after that. I don't think I'm picking Damian Priest. Well, have you still got Pete Dunne? Vote's done, dude. Should be done. Damian Priest is like the devil to himself. That's what I like about him, Wang. That's what I like about him. I like that he's the devil. I just said I wouldn't be surprised if Dunn won in the UK. Yeah, but who have you got? Come on, pick somebody. Because I thought you were going for Dunn. I don't know who you've got your money on, though. See, I don't know. I'll honestly say I don't know. The more I think about it, every day I kind of change with this one, which is a testament to how well they've done it, really. There's no obvious or clear winner. I just don't know if Pete Dunne is over enough, and I don't know if, he's got the home field advantage. It's not his hometown because he's from Birmingham, but another big city in the UK, not too far from London, a lot closer than I am to London. But yeah, it's as good as, isn't it? Or let's be fair, people thought Drew McIntyre was in his hometown at Clash at the Castle. It wasn't even the same country. But anyway, LA Knight was supposed to face Dunn and Escobar, not Rey Mysterio. This is a Vince change. Yeah. Is it a good Vince change or, one of the other Vince changes? Logan Paul, do a talk show host, Impulsive. Have you seen it yet, Michael? I've seen it a couple of times. It's not for me, but it's blimey. It has a lot of viewers. I don't like him as a person. See, I've got no problem with him as a person. I don't know enough about him as a person to comment on him, really. I think he's a very good wrestler. I think he's a very good wrestling character. Personally, as long as he's not a bad guy, as long as he's not a douche, I don't care what he does outside of wrestling. Every credit to him for running his businesses and stuff like that. But all I care about is what he does in the squared circle. And so far, I like what I see. Huang saying the only one who makes the matches is Triple H, not Vince McMahon. Misfit. No, that's not true, I'm afraid, Huang. Triple H is in charge of creative officially, but Vince McMahon since WWE was sold to Endeavor, Endeavor have hired Vince McMahon to basically be the overall in charge, the head honcho. So where officially, Triple H is in charge of creative, Vince can overrule him at any time, sadly. Again, no disrespect to Vince. I don't want to say anything like he's created many memories for me. He's done a lot for me as a person in terms of a wrestling fan. So I don't ever want to like disrespect him. I think he's perhaps the most influential wrestling booker of all time. Sorry, I said it, but the wrestling booker I want to see right now is Paul Levesque. So I understand why Misfit is frustrated by the Vince changes, because I am too, as a fan. What's good about Gimme a Hole is I can speak as a fan rather than because on WrestleSphere I've got to be professional and objective. I try to be a little bit here, but I can be a bit more liberal with my views. Voltaire says he doesn't like Logan either. Well, I get that. I do get that, but from a wrestling point of view, then he's doing his job, Daniel saying Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank's not tomorrow, mate. It's a week after. It's next week. So we've got a week to go. At least I hope so, because that's when I've got my hotel booked for. Getting an advert for Secret Invasion. Looking cool. Looking forward to this. I think there's one episode already up, isn't there? Samuel L. Jackson looks gnarly. Nice. Yeah, so it's because Money in the Bank is going to be cool because I'll tell you what I'm doing actually, folks. On Wednesday, I'm going to a house show in Liverpool with my wife. And would you believe I've never been to a WWE house show before? Been to plenty of pay-per-views, Raws, SmackDowns, never been to a house show. And it's only an hour away from my house, so I thought, I'll do that. Gonna try and see if I can get some press stuff. I've emailed WWE and said, hello, I'm here. Anyone I can chat to? We'll see but it's late in the day, so they probably won't. But you never know. Might be some stuff going up on WrestleSphere if I'm lucky. But a day later, on the next Thursday, I've got to drive to Newcastle to Andy Spore's house from Wrestling Royalty. Andy and I are then going to London together. I'm leaving my car in Newcastle. There is a reason why. We're going to go to London together. We're going to meet up with Dom and Scott from Rebellious Noise, a couple of other people as well. We're going to do the press event on the Friday, watch SmackDown that night. Then we're going to do Money in the Bank, watch that the next night. Then Andy and I, like two crazy people, are driving straight back to Newcastle from London on that Saturday night after the show. We are going to need a lot of Red Bull. It's going to be one hell of a drive. It's like a 4-hour drive in the middle of the night. Kill me. But Andy will be driving. My job is to keep the coffees flowing and keep him away. So as the passenger. Reason I'm going to Newcastle and not home is because my family are on holiday nearby, just coincidentally that week. So my wife will be in Newcastle. So I'll be then joining them and having a nice, well-earned week off. Although I'll still be doing some WrestleSphere stuff because I never, ever truly take a week off. It just doesn't happen. It's a life I've chosen. It's a good question. Do you like him as a WWE superstar? Because me, Huang, that's the only way I really judge him. Michael's saying, no, he's overrated. I see, Michael, like that Ricochet moment at the Royal Rumble, that was sick. I showed everybody that in my family. I was like, look at this. This is why I like wrestling. Look at this silly thing I like. We're probably going to need another vote in a minute, aren't we, Hassan? To me, I mean. I can Vince change the show. I explained that a minute ago, Huang. Vince McMahon has been put in charge of the company by Endeavor. Triple H is in charge of creative, but Vince McMahon has final say. He doesn't always utilize that final say, but he can whenever he wants. So Triple H is still technically in charge of creative, but Vince can just pop up and change something if he doesn't like it. As frustrating as that is, but that is the reality. That is what Misfit is saying. That is what's going on. And I think blimey, you guys are moving fast. Rey Mysterio did not win. That's not good. My vote lose Sam Smith. Andrew Tate says, hey. That's not a name. I really wanted to see on this stream. So I'm fairly confident you're not the real one. Or is that your name by? Is that your real name, or is that a name you've adopted? Because I can think of better names to adopt than that one. Mr. Tate is what I will call you. Outside of wrestling, he's not a good person. Well, I'm not gonna. I don't want to defame him on YouTube, but I'll leave that to you guys. Logan Paul. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I know all about that. But I did see some of the stuff he said after that, and I felt, when he was telling people, if they're feeling down, to reach out and talk to people and stuff like that. And I think like, yeah, I think that was maybe a growing up moment for him. I think he was a silly youth perhaps when he did that, but because I saw his response after that, and I didn't see him how he acted when it happened. So I can't comment, but I did see some of the things he said after he discovered it, and I actually thought that was quite nice. But I've not seen everything, so I couldn't possibly comment. I still like Finn Balor no matter what. Sam, yeah, me too. Juan, he's one of my favourites. I want him to win at Money in the Bank. Acknowledge the bloodline. Yeah. Says, hey, give me a hole, yeah. Hey, acknowledge the bloodline. I've got bad news for you. Acknowledge the bloodline about the bloodline. Question. Do you guys think Sting and Darby's partner at Forbidden Door? Oh, who do you think? See, I don't know, Michael. I heard a rumor that it was Goldberg. And you see, I was on a press call last night. It was the Tony Khan press call for AEW Forbidden Door. But all anybody wanted to talk about was CM Punk. And unfortunately, they ran out of time before my question got asked. I was so annoyed. I said to Dom afterwards, they didn't ask me, they didn't come to me. I'm so annoyed. They all rabbited on about CM Punk. But somebody did ask about Goldberg, and Tony Khan was like, I've spoken to Bill. Yeah, I've spoken to him. But yeah, I've spoken to him. It didn't really, that's all he said is he's spoken to him. So I was like, I smell a rat. But it's probably nothing. I'm just going through the comments, guys. You guys are moving fast tonight. I'm struggling to keep up. Misfit's saying, I was excited to see how I was going to cost Bailey a match. Yeah, you know what, Misfit? I agree with you completely, mate. Like, I hope they do something else. They somehow get that in without getting it in. You know what I mean? Like, even if they don't do that match, they still do the angle. Because I'd be frustrated if they don't, or at least do something. Yeah, we'll have a vote now because we have got the Scottish Witches versus the UFC, the former UFC guys, girls. Certainly wasn't being reductive. They're all really, I think that all four of them are great. So we've got Ronda Rousey. Ronda. Oh, so this is unifying the belts, isn't it? This match. That's so cool. Ronda Rousey. Ronda. Shayna versus Alba. Forgot the name. Double kill me. Alba Fire. Isla Dawn, of course. And Isla Dawn. Again, I'm tired. You're going to have to forgive me. And Isla Dawn. There we go. So that's the banner, guys. Boom. And I'll just quickly do the vote. I always say I'll just do the vote for Hassan, but it's not just for Hassan, is it? It's for everybody. We'll just kill the last poll. Rey Mysterio won, but only just. Let's see who wins this time. See, and my money is on Shayna and Ronda, but I kind of don't want them to win. I'd like the NXT call-ups to win. I haven't even put the surnames in there to save time. You guys are moving so close in the comments. So it's a good match so far. They're battering each other. It's great. Itchy nose again. Let's just see where we were. If you notice, guys, I'm not putting up some of the comments about Logan Paul on the screen, mainly because if we have any people watching this who might be suffering from certain things, I don't want this to trigger them in any way. So any discussion of Logan Paul and the Forest in Japan, I'm not going to put up on screen, if you don't mind. You can carry on discussing it, obviously, do what you want, but I can't put it up on screen because it's not responsible of me to do so. But I hear you. I know the Bloodline. How are you all? We're all right, mate. How are you? Tell us about your day. Tell us about you're looking forward to Money in the Bank. Okay. Hassan. To be fair, mate, I think you put that before I did it. So, but yeah, it's done. Now we're getting ads. Michael saying you heard it was Thunder Liger was going to be the Forbidden Door. I know he retired and went in the Hall of Fame, didn't he? But like, yeah, it'd be cool, it'd be awesome. But I mean, saying that retirement means nothing in wrestling, doesn't it? There's nothing. Darby Allин's opponent is Tetsuya Naito. Now that'd be so cool. Imagine Sting in the ring with Naito. That's nuts. I'd love that. Liger doesn't wrestle anymore, but let's come on now, Misfit. We know retirement. Retirement is like death in the Marvel universe. You know what I mean? Like you can't, like, even if you retire from a fake sport, you could always come back to a fake sport. So I know retirement does mean retirement to some people, but I mean, when a wrestler says they're retiring, for me, it's an extended holiday. That's what it means these days. So Michael's saying rumors it was going to be a one-off thing. Saying it's nice. So we'll have to see, boys. We'll have to see. Michael's saying, who do you think is going to win this match between Fire and Dawn? See, I want Alba Fire and Isla Dawn to win this because I think it would make a statement about, you know, the upcoming NXT talent. They've just gone to the main roster and now they're doing well. But at the same time, they've got to rehabilitate Ronda and Shayna a bit. So either way, I don't really mind. But yeah, I prefer the NXT guys to win. And Hwang agrees. Yeah, Naito would be awesome. Like, I was actually thinking Naito was conspicuous by his absence on that card. So, yeah, thank you for understanding. Because it's, not a pleasant thing to talk about. And, that person had a family, they're probably not watching this, but we all know people who've been affected by things like that. So we've got to be responsible. Sorry for gulping that tea down. It's going cold and I need the caffeine. Hello again. Acknowledge the bloodline. Oh, that's a question out of nowhere. Wang, I've caught up with the comments. Yay. Right. What are your thoughts on Johnny Knoxville? I'm going to answer that one as well. See, everybody I know loved that jackass match with Sami Zayn. I'm the only person I know who didn't like it because I just thought it was too silly for this era. Ibushi should show up at Forbidden Door. Do you know what, Michael? I don't know anything, but if he doesn't, I'll be super surprised. You know what I mean? Like reuniting the Golden Lovers in some form, or him attacking Kenny in some form. You know what I mean? Like maybe now's not the time, but Yeah, I'd be amazed if they don't get him involved somehow. How's your day been then, Sam? It's been good. Acknowledge the bloodline. I went to work. I wrote some articles about Diablo 4. Uh, Fiddled around with a few spreadsheets. Planned some more articles about Diablo 4. Walked the dog. Went to the gym. Ate. Did this. So there you go. So according there's some misfits. Not convinced it's going to be Liger. Neither am I, really. Wouldn't have a problem if he did turn up, and anything can happen in this crazy sport. But I think Naito makes a lot of sense and would make a lot of people, me included, very happy. See, I'm with Misfit. I enjoyed Jackass when I was 14. I found it funny. To be fair, I found it funny even long after that. But I don't really want to see that in my wrestling. I don't want to see people take bowling balls to the testicles in wrestling. I don't mind a bit of silliness in wrestling. Wrestling is silly. It just is. And I'm okay with that. And I know Sami Zayn had a lot of fun. And it was a fun match. It would have entertained a lot of people, but I'm not into. I don't mind a bit of comedy in wrestling sometimes if it's done well, and it often is, and it often isn't. But that wasn't for me. That was the match I went up and had a wee. That's just me. I want to see fighting, fake fighting, not fake fakery. Why is Raquel out here? Why not Misfit? Because Vince. That's why. That's all you need. That's all I need to say, innit? He's certainly a funny person, Misfit. I also think he's a very good stuntman and he's pretty talented. I also think he's very likable. I don't want to see him in a wrestling ring. That's just me. Who's going to win the Bloodline match at Money in the Bank? See, I think the Usos are going to be the better fighters. I think Roman is going to do something despicable to get the win. Potentially kayfabe, put Jay out of action, feud with Jimmy, do something even more horrible to Jimmy. So we get SummerSlam Jay versus Roman. That's what I predict. But I could be wrong. And I could change my mind. Because what is the point of having a mind if you never change it? Great Muta's a good shot, even if he's retired. See, this is controversial, and like me not liking the Johnny Knoxville match, at least I found somebody else who doesn't like that in Misfit, which is good. Thank God. I was starting to think nobody else. Everyone was seeing something I wasn't. But see, Muta's amazing, but he struggles like even walking these days. Bless him. I don't want to disrespect the guy at all, but the taps, dude, it's over. Blimey, that wasn't a squash, but it was a routing. Nah, NXT Women's Tag Titles are no more, folks. Ronda and Shayna. To be fair, that was the one we all thought they'd swerve us, didn't we? But nah. She certainly was. His knees are shot to hell. He doesn't need to be wrestling anymore. Misfit, I feel like we're on the same page a lot tonight. That's good. Yeah, I agree. I was at the Hall of Fame. I saw him. I saw him going to the Hall of Fame, and that was nice. Although I was jet lagged to hell during the Hall of Fame, and someone even said to me on the plane, on the way to LA, they said, someone who goes every year to Mania, and they said to me, SmackDown is always a good laugh, and we always have a load of beers. And then we get to the Hall of Fame and we fall asleep and we struggle to stay awake. And I thought, don't be stupid. I'll be fine. No. Like, I woke up when Conan started talking because he's Conan and he's amazing. But I'm embarrassed to admit I even started falling asleep during Rey Mysterio's speech, and I love Rey Mysterio so much. But it wasn't just me; all the boys were flagging. We were all a bit like, we were all doing so tired because we had got there and just started drinking beer and had fun and had been quite bouncy and excited. We slept like the dead that night. We just got into bed and we were Liv's back, and wow, were we asleep for a long time. Apart from this idiot, me, who got up stupidly early for some reason in the morning, went down and had coffee on my own like at 7 a.m. I was like, what am I doing? I was just excited to be there. A pro wrestler's retirement is like some rock group's farewell tour. Yes, exactly, Norma. I can confirm that El Desperado is in Toronto for Forbidden Door. Isn't even told what he's doing for the show. No, the great Moot is still alive, Juan. He's still alive and well. His knees aren't so good, but he is alive. He's still ticking. I saw him in the flesh only a few weeks ago at the Hall of Fame ceremony when he was inducted. Alive. He's still going. Unless something's happened in the past few days that I don't know about or a Misfit doesn't know about. And if it gets past me, it certainly doesn't get past him. Oh, breaking news. This could be it. So that wasn't funny. That wasn't funny, was it? Sorry. Misfits. No, sorry. Misfits alive too. I sincerely hope so. No, Great Moot is okay. Hold on. Let's just forget about Becky costing Raquel. Raquel is already over it. Yeah, no, Misfits right. Muta is still kicking. Well, not kicking, but walking around, but not doing much with his knees. But the Great Muta is alive and is enjoying his retirement and enjoying his shiny Hall of Fame ring. I've seen stuff on Twitter about Rikishi being there next week. See, now that'd be cool, but here's the thing: like, people always talk about like the previous era of the Anoa'is getting involved in this bloodline thing. I don't think they're needed. I just don't. They're doing all right on their own without bringing back Offa, Sika, Rikishi, or even The Rock. I don't think we need the rest of the Anoa'i clan from the Attitude Era or the earlier to turn up in this story. I think it's good enough. Without them, we don't need to rely on nostalgia. The 4 men, or 5 men if we include Sammy, are doing a great job on their own. Look, Rikishi's the guy who used to stick his ass in people's faces in the Royal Rumble. Like and now I have to take that seriously in a really serious story like this. Now, come on now. Rikishi, thank you for everything you did with your ass, but please stay at home. And cheer on your 3 sons and your nephew from afar. So Great Muta is retired already, right? Yeah, he's alive and retired. And Misfit and I, for the sake of Muta's health, hope he stays retired. Let's just kind of see what you guys had on that poll, because that went horribly wrong for the NXT champs, didn't it? Where's the poll? Oh, that's crazy. Half of you thought Ronda and Shayna. Near enough half of you. Wow, we caught that one up, didn't we? My God, you guys are moving fast tonight. Misfit saying Muta's my 3rd favorite wrestler after Taker and Brett. I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's interesting. So you were a WCW guy, Misfit? Because I know I was back in the day. I used to like both. I know I've told this story a million times before, so I'll keep it short. But we used to watch. Me and my 2 friends, we'd watch WCW around at my house, and then we'd run around to my friend's house who had Sky, like Sky Plus, and he had it recorded. This is back in like, you know, the late 90s. And we'd watch WWF. Like, there were no. It's why even today sorry, this nose is so itchy. It's so itchy. I'm scratching my nose on stream. But it's like, even today, I find tribalism in wrestling stupid. Like, there was no WCW versus WWF for me. It was just, I watched both. I watch AW and WWE. I play Xbox and PlayStation. You know what I mean? I eat Burger King and Mackey's. So I hate the word or. I like the word and. I want both. I'm not settling for one. I'll be back in a minute, guys. Back in just a minute or two. And I'm back. What'd I miss? Pretty Deadly are out. With a disco ball. Wow, it started raining like crazy here. Here we go. So let me just catch up on some of the comments. Raquel is going to find another partner. Liv Morgan is back. Liv is back. Yay. It's nice to see her. Was she out an injury? I forget. You know. Everyone's happy to see Liv Morgan. That's nice. So I will admit, Muta should have been in the Rumble this year before he retired. I don't know. I remember just seeing him on a few indie shows and being like, oh, dude, I feel bad for the guy struggling to walk. And when you see that, it's hard to then expect them to do like really cool spots or, you know, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Takes me out of it a bit. Doesn't mean I'm not happy to see him, but I don't need, you know, I kind of want to remember him in his prime, really. That's just me, I suppose. So this is an interesting one, Daniel. Daniel says, I think Jacob Fatu will turn up next, I think. Well, the thing with Jacob Fatu is he's absolutely killing it in MLW and loving being there. So I think he's biding his time. Yeah, I love the idea of him turning up after this Bloodline story is done, completely done. It'd be cool if he turned up now as an enforcer and went after the Usos. That'd be awesome. But I kind of like the idea as well of him turning up later in WWE when all this story is over and the Bloodline story is blown over, and him almost like being the bad guy in a feud with Roman Reigns as the face. Almost a redemption story for Roman Reigns, perhaps, where Jacob is like, I never acknowledged you as the tribal chief. It's hilarious that you called yourself the tribal chief. I never acknowledged you. Half my cousins didn't acknowledge you. You were just a tribal chief in your own head. And if they did some kind of story about Roman faking half of it, that would have been interesting. That would have been cool. And then have Roman have to kind of overcome Jacob. That's just me. I don't know, I'm just spitballing, playing with ideas. They certainly didn't Wang. Nah, Sam, I was what you call a pro wrestling fan. Well, if that means you like me and you like all of it, awesome. Because I was a WCW guy and a WWF guy at the same time. Just like now, WWE and AW guy. Yeah, pro wrestling guy. Sports entertainment and the more serious stuff. So, yeah. We just kind of catch up some of these. Michael, you wash your mouth out saying that catchphrase. What are the American audience? What do you guys think of Pretty Deadly? Because even in the UK, we think these guys are annoying and we all want to slap them. So they've never been this vocal. They're much more vocal in WWE than they were on the Indies. On the Indies, they just kind of looked good and other stuff. Katriana, say hello, Katriana. Sorry I couldn't make it, but I'm here tomorrow. Bye. Just a message. Bye. Well, nice of you to pop in. I won't be here tomorrow. I think Dom and Kinney are doing something tomorrow night about the Bloodline, actually. So do check that out. Mutual Admiration Society here between Grayson and Pretty Deadly. I think these three work so well together. And the Aussie-British connection as well works quite nice. All three of them are foreign heels, part of the Anglosphere. And all three of them are superb on the mic. And good in the ring as well. Yeah, that's what I thought that too, Misfit. I thought, he's signed on with MLW and he appears to be happy there. Because at the moment, like, no disrespect to MLW, they're a great promotion. They put some good stuff. I'm a fan. I watch them religiously every week. But they, compared to WWE, they're a small pond. And him and Hammerstone are the biggest fish in that pond. And while they're there, they're big stars. So they'll always be thinking, do we go to the AEWs, the Impacts, and the WWEs and get lost in the shuffle? Or do we wait until we're the hottest commodities, you know? I watched everything when I was a kid, WWF, ECW, and WCW. I tried to watch everything today. I believe you. I think you do. See, I'll tell you what my diet is, my weekly wrestling diet. Now, I can't watch everything. I just, with the amount of work I've got to do, a family I've got to look after, dogs I've got to walk, a gym regimen, which is slowly taking over my life. Yeah, so I watch everything WWE puts out. I watch everything AEW puts out. I practically stopped watching Dark and Elevation by the time they got canned anyway. So watch MLW, NWA, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan Strong when it's here. I know it's kind of seasonal, isn't it? New Japan Strong. Am I missing anybody? They're the big ones. I try and catch up with GCW, but I'm not a massive fan of hardcore wrestling, so I only really watch that when there's something really cool happening, or like Moxley's there, or But I used to watch a lot more, but I'm a lot busier than I used to be. I used to try and watch Defy, Progress, big fan of Progress, Rev Pro, but I can't always get around to that stuff these days. Some weeks it's lucky if I can do the basics, really. I like Pretty Deadly. Yeah, so the Profits are here to kick some heel ass. Let us change the banner because it's overdue. Pretty Deadly. Street Profits. incorrectly spelled deliberately. There we go. Right, let's do the poll. Now the banner is up. Let's see who won the last one. Oh, no, we did it already, didn't we? I'm actually kind of surprised Pretty Deadly got called up so soon. I thought they were quite niche. Maybe only the British audience would understand their gimmick. But no, they seem to be, as far as heels go, pretty over and doing quite well, which is great. So, you know, they're two talented dudes. So who wins Pretty Deadly? I might have got to do this twice every time. Street Profits. Boom. And the poll is live, guys. Go for it. Fill your boots. Let me just go. Great tag team. I miss watching WCW, WWF back in the days, or even years. Yeah, no, me too. One, it was a fun time. Although I'm of the view that we're living in a really cool wrestling time now. The Attitude Era, we'll never see its like again. And you know, like I include WCW in that. I include the NWO and Sting and all that cool stuff. Goldberg's streak. You know, like, that was what a time to be alive. WCW and WWF were both killing it until WCW fell off a cliff. But yeah, that was, you know, I was a kid, I was in high school when all that was happening. But I love wrestling at the moment. I think wrestling's never been better in a way. You know, even 20 years later, I'm still into it, and I kind of went through the motions of wrestling for such a long time. But the advent of AEW, I feel like wrestling is kind of becoming not the same level of popularity it had in the Attitude Era, but there's geeky stuff is becoming chic. Geeky stuff is becoming cool. And wrestling is kind of riding that wave along with video games, along with things like Warhammer, like, you know, even like Dungeons and Dragons these days is becoming cool. So it's like we're living in a really strange time where it's okay to be creative and it's okay to be a little bit geeky, you know. But yeah, Michael is saying, is anyone going live for Collision tomorrow? I don't actually know, mate. It's not me. You'll know by this time tomorrow, I imagine. But we haven't really settled on somebody to do it regularly because it's on a Saturday. Like, I'm just amazed I can do so many SmackDowns. But when everyone's asleep upstairs, I'm just kind of down here doing this. So, but I'd struggle doing Saturdays as well as Fridays. And the guys obviously have got families, and the weekend it's a little bit harder to do. So I don't know. We'll find out. Who knows? We may maybe take somebody else on, or we'll figure something out, I'm sure, at some point. But right now, it's a little bit up in the air, unless the boys, Ant and Dom, have come up with something behind the scenes. But remains to be seen. Well, they went back to Raquel and Friends versus the tag champions. I'm surprised that WWE did that. So Fatu re-signed in 2020. Although we're getting on in the years, we're getting on in time. So was it a 4-year contract? Which means or is it a bit longer? You tell me. I don't know. I think he's WWE destined one day, but I don't think he's in a rush. I do still watch WWE and NXT, AEW Dynamite, Collision, all the big stuff. Although I think NXT is now unofficially 3.0 now, Wang. They kind of did some kind of melding, didn't they, between Black and Gold and 2.0. And I'm enjoying NXT at the moment. Andy often tells me off for slagging off. And what is he doing? Montez Ford taking the piss out of Pretty Deadly. I like it. I love Ring of Honor right now. I'm going to watch yesterday. Yeah, me too. Michael, I happily pay that 10 quid subscription to Ring of Honor every week. I love it. I think it's a bit much when they do a 3-hour episode or a 2.5-hour episode. It's a bit much. I'd be happy with a nice 90-minute a straight 90 minutes. But yeah, I'm enjoying Ring of Honor at the moment. There's a few jobby matches that don't do much for me, but they're putting on a way better product than they were doing with AW Dark. Although I would like to see AW Dark come back and live up to the promise of what it was initially supposed to be before it fell off a cliff. I'm using that a lot, aren't I? Got SmackDown tonight, Collision tomorrow, Stardom, Forbidden Door. Yeah, you like your Japanese wrestling and Stardom. I confess I don't watch Stardom enough. I've seen a few shows that they've done, but I don't follow it. I simply just don't have the time. It'd be cool if I did. If I was a journo who just did wrestling and didn't do video games and fitness as well, yeah, I'd probably have more time to watch wrestling because that'd be part of my job. But at this moment in time, spinning too many plates, I think I'm lucky to get to do what I do, really. The thing I don't like about XPW, CZW, GCW is they try to make what ECW did cool and then make it. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, I get you completely. Stardom is a promotion in Japan, Wang. It's got nothing to do with Forbidden Door. Misfit was just giving us a list of things he watches. Stardom is one of the promotions this weekend he's watching, and Forbidden Door is a pay-per-view he's watching this weekend. Daniel's saying, what are WWE doing with Zion Quinn? Not enough, mate. Not enough. He was on the main. They've taken him to the main roster, but he's a free agent. They mishandled him in NXT. Like, he had a good start when he was feuding with Legado del Fantasma. And then all of a sudden was on Level Up every week, getting squashed by jobbers. And now he's on the main roster, appearing in Battle Royals, but not much else. So, yeah, they're not doing enough. I don't know what's going on there. They better not release him because I think there's a ton of potential there. There's more WCW and ECW and even WF2, right? What? I don't think he's saying he still watches that stuff. I think he's just saying that was the stuff he used to enjoy back in the day, Juan. Misfit's saying it better than I could. Stardom, it has a pay-per-view the same day as Forbidden Door, which is why Stardom isn't part of Forbidden Door. Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. In fact, they were discussing that on the media call last night. But it's something everybody already knew, so I'm quite surprised they asked about it, really. Hey, Taylor. How you doing, mate? Hope everything's all right with work. I know we are trains that pass in the night, aren't we? Hope everything's going all right, mate. We're enjoying it on our side. I hope you guys are feeling good about stuff. I don't know anything about Stardom and Forbidden Door. They're always. Well, Forbidden Door is obviously AW and New Japan's pay-per-view happening Sunday night. One. Bear with me one moment, guys. I've got my cat meowing at the door. I'm not going to turn you off. I'll keep you there. Dexter, come on, mate. Dexter, come on, pal. Stupid cat. You coming in or what? I'm trying to do a wrestling stream here. Well, looks like you're staying out for a minute. Never work with children and animals. My life, by the way, is opening the door for cats. Massive part of my life. Let's catch up on some comments. You guys have been on fire tonight. We've had so many people in. He's meowing at the door again now. I just opened it for him and he didn't want to come in. So we're not playing that game again. He'll play that game all night. I think I would watch AW Forbidden Door, though. I'm not sure if it's on Peacock. No, it's AEW, Juan. So it won't be on Peacock because that's WWE. It'll be on probably Fight, Bleacher Report. Depends where you are, Juan. I'm not quite sure where you are. I think you're in the United States, aren't you? So it'll be on Bleacher and it'll be on Fight. I'll be watching it on Fight because that's where it'll be in the UK. The easiest way to watch it in the UK and the cheapest. Michael says, Sam, I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. You might not see me tomorrow, mate, because I think I'll be having a family night tomorrow night. But you'll certainly see Dom and Kinney, I imagine. I don't know what the guys are doing with Collision. We'll see. It won't be me because I've got stuff to do on Sunday. Oh, Misfit, you've changed your face. It went back to Raquel and Friends. No, Huang. Forbidden Door. It'll be on Fight TV or Bleacher Report, I believe. How long to be to Raquel to another partner? Why is this such a theme? I don't know if you guys care more than me or if I've missed something. I really don't. Well, we have to wait and find out later on, I guess, you want to know. Yeah, you do. How can I watch AW Forbidden Door? Fight TV or Bleacher Report? I think, Huang, you're based in the United States, aren't you? So it's those two things I've said. Yeah, so, right. In the state of Massachusetts, then it'll be Bleacher Report or Fight TV. I'm going to get that tattooed on my forehead. There you go. I haven't been in work for 2 weeks. Have you been on holiday? How dare you have a holiday when I'm not allowed one? I'm joking. I am allowed one. In fact, I'm having one after next week. Don't know what we're going to do about Diablo 4. I'll have to do a handover with the guys. But we'll figure that out at the time. You're right there, Daniel, about Zion Quinn. Basically, Zion Quinn is of Samoan heritage, which is why he has some of the Samoan tribal tattoos. But he's not actually part of the Anawai family. He has those just because he's very proud of his heritage, which I suppose you would be. But yeah, I mean, like if you were to build a Bloodline wrestler in a lab, it kind of look like Zion Quinn, wouldn't it? So, but because he's not officially part of the Bloodline, they're probably not including him in that. But I'd be fine with kayfabing him in. I'd be all right with that. Don't know about you guys. I've been in Vegas for 11 days. How are you still alive? How are you still standing? If I'd been in Las Vegas for 11 days, I'd either be in prison or in a ditch. I think by now. Huang. He meant you can order the pay-per-view Forbidden Door on Bleacher Report. You asked the question, where can I order it? And he said on Bleacher Report. I'm going to say it one final time. AEW Forbidden Door can be purchased on Bleacher Report or on Fight TV. I feel like you're speaking to Misfit, but you're not hearing the host over here. Did you skip work, Taylor? Yeah, Taylor. Did you skip work? This is brilliant. I'm not allowed to order anything through pay-per-views. Why not, Juan? Main event Stardom's pay-per-view is Odio Tai versus Queen's Quest Steel Cage. Loser leaves the faction they're in. Oh, wow. I'm not going to lie, mate. I'm unfamiliar with the factions of Stardom and a lot of the performers, to be honest, of the wrestlers. It's on my to-do list. So is a ton of other stuff. Sam, Misfit says to me, I have to go order AW Forbidden Door on Bleacher Report. Yes, if you want to order it, that is where you can order it. That and Fight TV. Forbidden Door on Bleacher Report is $49.99. Wow, you guys get screwed over, don't you, with the cost of AW pay-per-views? It's 20 quid in the UK, which is about, I don't know, just under $30 for you guys. God, you guys get absolutely rinsed by AEW. Yeah, I think it'd be worth it though, that one. I think we have an official, like, give me a whole, yeah, not an official, just a fight account for work here. So probably watch it on that. But I think we can only have several concurrent streams. But I'll be watching it afterwards. I won't be watching it live. Got too much to do Monday morning. Misfit. Yeah, Taylor. Where have you been? In work. No one's been editing videos. Where have you been? Skipping out in work for 2 weeks. Who do you think you are? They've added Sammy to the bloodline so they can add Quinn to the bloodline. Yeah, but that was the point, wasn't it? The whole point was Sammy isn't an honorary use. I think with Zion Quinn, they'd be better off just pretending he is, wouldn't they? Like they do with The Rock. Well, you know what I mean there. But it's yeah, the whole point of Sami Zayn is he kind of worked his way to that position and earned his stripes. But yeah, I'd be game, but I don't know if they need any more players added to this bloodline story. I think the whole trajectory of this story now is for Roman to keep alienating people and for that to become the theme. I think if he keeps adding more troops, we're just spinning the wheels endlessly, and they need now to start the process of Roman Reigns losing people one by one because of his bullying, gaslighting, abusive ways. That's the story they're telling very, very well, might I add. I actually came back with money, which is absolutely wild. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would have lost my car and my house. And I'm off on holiday again soon, which is great. See, I'm on holiday after Money in the Bank. Once me and Andy drive back to Andy's house, I'm going to then jump back in my car, which will be on his driveway, and I'll drive to where my family is all staying on holiday, and I'm going to have a nice week off. I'll probably have to write a few wrestling articles for WrestleSphere, but I'll be relaxing, playing Nintendo Switch, reading books, and drinking beer. More of the third thing. I'm not going to watch AW from indoors. Too much money. Fair enough. Fair enough. YouTube in some other places. Yeah, see, we don't get it on YouTube in the UK, but we get it on. We can get it on Fight. We can actually be a bit cheeky and get it on Bleacher if we know what we're doing. But why do we pay more money for it? You know, like a Fight, it's so easy, so convenient. I did my job while being on holiday. You square. No, I'm joking. You got to do what you got to do. And you work in media, there's no such thing as a holiday. I'm learning that. Are you going back to work, Taylor? He'll be going back soon. We'll be cracking that whip, getting him back. Who does he think he is taking a holiday when the rest of us aren't allowed to? What you might not know, guys, is Taylor and I work for the same company. We both work for Deserto. But I'm a journalist. I'm a writer. Taylor works in video editing. So I'm joking and pretending that all the video editing has gone wrong while Taylor's been away, where I'm sure it hasn't, because I'm sure we have other very talented people and we all do handovers and we're all very sensible. And if one person's on holiday, we cover for each other. So, like any workplace. Okay. I'll put it this way, Sam. Queen's Quest is a faction started by Io Shirai when she was in Stardom. Oh, well, that piques my interest. Sammy was only added to enhance the Bloodline story. It got stale without him. See, I have to disagree there. I think Sammy being involved in the story, I know what you mean, without the Sammy element, it's not quite as delicious in the same way as it was. But Sammy was always going to turn face and leave. But Sammy's the catalyst for the Usos regaining their honor and regaining their souls. Sammy is still involved and part of the story. Like the other day, that nod to Jay about, you do the right thing. So he's still involved in his own way. But I don't know. I've kind of enjoyed it post Sami Zayn because I think it's never not been good storytelling. But I get what you mean. There was a little bit of a slump after WrestleMania. Once Sammy and Kevin had won the titles, it was kind of a, well, what now? Kind of a deal, wasn't it? But I'm still feeling it. I'm still like last week. Let's be honest, Misfit. You and I popped out of our clothes last week when they super kicked Roman. I know because I went back and watched it. So Queen and Solo would be an amazing match. I think, Daniel, we've seen it, on NXT like a year or two ago. I could be wrong, but I think they have tangled. Because I remember thinking, oh, look, two Samoan dudes. Or I don't know if they were just involved in an angle that overlapped. But I know I've seen them on screen together on NXT at some point. Okay. Yes, and Forbidden Door will be on New Japan World too. Do you know what, though, Misfit? Dom and I had a subscription to New Japan World, but the quality was just god awful. So we cancelled it, and we're just happy ordering stuff, from Fight now. It's a shame, really, because there's a bunch of New Japan pay-per-views that I want to watch. And I do order the occasional one, but New Japan World, I just couldn't get past how bad the quality was. I don't know if it's the same for you, but every device I watched it on, it was just blurry and, it wasn't worth even the small amount of money that it was, really. So I'd love them to fix that. I don't know, it might just be me, but I know Dom had the same problem. At least I think he did. There was a hilarious stream we actually did a few months ago where the screen kind of just started melting because they had technical problems. And it was really funny because we were tweeting about it. We were just kind of watching this melting screen live on stream, and we just had a good laugh, really. But the pay-per-view was great. It was the pay-per-view where Jay White got bashed over the head by Fit Finlay. It was a good show. Oh, Lacey Evans is here in her Sergeant Slaughter get-up. Sergeant Slaughter meets Indiana Jones. So we're going to see Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans tonight on SmackDown, right, Sam Smith? I don't know, Huang. I haven't really been paying attention. I think we're getting... I should really do a poll, actually, shouldn't I? Nope. Sam cracks the whip for my department. He makes me work 20-hour days. Don't you lie! I don't even work for your department. No, I can't even do that in my own department. He's lying, you cheeky sod. I see what you did there. If you want to believe him, though, guys, believe him. I'm not capable of being a tyrant. I don't even have that much clout there. I can't crack the whip on anyone. Blair Davenport was also in Queen's Quest. Yeah, Taylor. You aren't going to get paid if you do go back to work. It's very bad to skip work, Taylor. Yeah, I can't believe, Taylor, you skipped work and went to Las Vegas for 2 weeks. This is funny. Piper Niven was. I love how Misfit is telling us really cool information and catching us up on Stardom, which you're clearly very passionate about, which is awesome. Me and Misfit are just messing about and pretending that he skipped work. At least one of us is serious. One of us is a professional, Misfit, which is you. What was Blair Davenport called in on the Indies? Because obviously it wasn't Blair Davenport, was it? It was. I completely forgot. People like Thunder Rosa, Nikki Cross, and Jamie Hayter were also in it. This is all stuff I actually just didn't know. I should probably make more of an effort with Stardom. But in truth, I need to make more of an effort with New Japan in general at the moment because I've been a little bit. I haven't really been. I know I'm following it along on YouTube, and I know what's happening. I know who the champs are. I know what the storylines are, but I'm not watching the shows because there's a lot of New Japan to watch. Because they do they're constantly touring and putting on shows, so it's really hard to have the time to keep up with it. Let me just quickly do a poll, actually, for this match, because I've realised I haven't done one. So, who wins? Charlotte Flair. Woo! Lacey Evans. Boom. Poll is live. Let's see. Go on, Charlotte. Charlotte, have you... win this match while I've just done the poll, I'll be furious. Oh, Asuka. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. More of this, please. More of Asuka throwing his shoes at people. This is why I watch wrestling. Well, I was going to do the banner. I suppose there's not a massive amount of point now. Banner. Asuka kills Charlotte in the ring. Which I think she's just done. Right, let's catch up on some of these comments because I am behind. Bum, bum, bum. When the Usos kicked Roman, I screamed so loud. I bet you did. I knew there'd be certain people who'd go, oh! You can actually see my reaction live on stream to it. I'm there like, right, guys, I'm getting tired. I'm going to go to bed soon. And, oh, my God, it's like that. It woke me up. You know, Baron Corbin and Mustafa Ali where were they? Why? NXT? I think a lot of people were. So Forbidden Door is on NGP World is only available to people in Japan, but it's probably for the best because I'll be ordering it on Fight. There we go. Okay. Oh, speaking of, there's Solo Sikoa murdering Ridge. Is that Ridge? Well, Ridge is dead. Metaphorically. So you're telling me I'm not going to get paid for my paid holiday? Apparently not. Shouldn't the skip work, should you? Shouldn't the skip work? She was Bea Priestley. That was her name, Misfit. Yes, indeed. I remember because I know Osprey and her, obviously they're together in real life, but they had some funny banter on Twitter where he was like, you know how couples do, like B doesn't know about X, Y, or Z, always Solo looking mean. Yeah, this episode has got Vince all over it, hasn't it? We haven't had. Where's all the builds to? I feel like there's potential builds, and they're all just gone. What has gone on with this episode? So far, I'm not that impressed. Which is weird because, like, past couple of weeks, SmackDown has been on fire. Yeah, Bea Priestley Taylor. It was Blair Davenport before she got NXT'd and given an NXT name. Yeah, Huang. Misfit is very familiar with NXT. He's just not feeling. He was just not feeling the current NXT. But Misfit, come back. There's some good stuff on NXT. I don't like. There's a lot of stuff I'm not a fan of either. But there's been some good matches. When I was in LA, again, I've said this before, but my favorite match of WrestleMania weekend, live, was the women's ladder match. I think Tiffany Stratton is a superb heel as well. She's such a bitch, and it's brilliant. She's so good at it. If they can keep the focus on her being a great character and not her beauty, they've got a good act there, a good performer, someone who can do well for them. Like they did with Mandy Rose. Her beauty was her gimmick in many ways, but it was more than that. It was her mean girl status that made her so good to watch. Huang, we've got to be honest with you, Huang. Taylor hasn't really skipped work. He had a scheduled and authorized holiday. He hasn't really skipped work. He's done everything the right way. We're only having a bit of banter. Yes, thank you. I know I'm annoyed about that. It happens every time, that as well. Happens every time, well, nearly every time. I've said to Hassan a while ago, I said, I'm not doing polls for squash matches. I refuse. Because by the time I've typed it out, it's done, it's gone, it's over, kaput. Charlotte versus Lacey is a Raw Women's title match. Vince wanted at Mania 37. Don't remind me. Do you remember that feud? Good God. Is that the one with Ric Flair and she thought she was pregnant? I had therapy to get rid of that and you just brought it all back. I'm a panic attack. Are those cheers I'm hearing for Asuka? Yeah, I thought that. I imagine so as well, you know. Especially if she was up, well, more if she was up against Bianca, but against Charlotte and Lacey, yeah, defo. I'd cheer Asuka over those two. No disrespect to them both, but I would. She's the one I want to win. Can't wait for it to be Charlotte, Lacey, Asuka triple threat, and Lacey to take the pin. That does seem like the most logical course of action, doesn't it? I don't think Misfit saw it, Huang, but I certainly did, and I love that Finn Balor is stalking Seth Rollins all the way around WWE and attacking him in NXT, because as far as I'm concerned, NXT is Finn Balor's kingdom. No one else's. Maybe Samoa Joe, maybe Rollins to a point as well, dare I say, but when I think of NXT, you know, pre-Ciampa, pre-Gargano, Undisputed Era, Balor was the king of NXT to me. You know, and still is in many ways. I know he doesn't go there, but, you know, it was a long time coming, the Usos turning on our tribal chief. You damn straight it was. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it, really, yeah. Blimey, you guys are moving quick. Queen's Quest is basically like LIJ. Well, that explains a lot, actually, Mister. Thank you for that comparison, because that tells me everything I need to know. Like a bit baby faces, but anti-heroes is the vibe I get from that. Alan Harrison, hi all from Australia. Hi, Alan. What time is it where you are? I bet you. Do you? What time do you guys watch SmackDown at? Because it's 20 to 3 in the morning for me. I get paid on the holiday whenever I go to work, Taylor. Huang, he's not really skipping work. We're joking. We're messing about. He isn't really skipping work. Can I get a vote, please? I vote for Sheamus. Give me a... So it's Sheamus versus Solo. Hassan, I shall do that for you now, mate. And you can vote properly. 100% Charlotte Flair got that one. In the poll. Did only one person vote? No, 5 people did. So who wins? So is that... Right, so that's the match I'm going to see in person. I'm going to see Asuka versus Charlotte Flair in person at SmackDown next week. And I'm going to see Pretty Deadly versus Sammy and Kevin. I'm actually happy with both of those matches. Those are both 2 matches I'd very much like to see in person. So I'm going to see Logan Paul get interviewed by Grayson Waller next week on SmackDown. I'm looking forward to that. I'll do a little bit of live tweeting, guys, while I'm there, if you like. I know you'll be watching it yourselves, but something I can do, because I won't be doing a stream, obviously, next week. I don't know who else will do. So who wins? Correct me if I'm wrong. It is Sheamus versus Solo, isn't it? How long has Solo Sikoa been stood there? God, this is the main event. Tonight's kind of flown. It's not been the best show, but tonight's still flown. I don't feel like they've furthered any storylines, though. What do other people think? I don't feel like any storylines have really moved forward. Am I wrong? Am I right? Just do tell me if I'm missing something there. Everything feels a bit wheel spinny with this one. Quickly do the banner. Here's the fella who's going to put on a banger. This is Solo. Save. Here we go. Right. I think that's the last poll of the evening and the last banner of the evening. Right. Let's try and catch up with some comments. The only days I'm not able to work is Sunday. Cool. Wang, the poll is live, so you can go vote properly if you like. Remainder of the show, Money in the Bank next week. WWE's done nothing tonight to let people know that. Yeah, you're right. again, there's still 20 minutes of this of TV time left, so they could do something. But I'm amazed. I'm amazed. No Io Shirai, Io Sky, Bailey furthering. Nothing with the Bloodline, at least not yet. The Usos turned up and cut a cool promo. I'm a bit confused. I'm not lie. Voltaire saying, I heard they wanted Rick to be the dad for Lacey's pregnancy. Yeah, that was the proposed story, and they even teased it on screen, and I don't think anybody was feeling it. I know I wasn't. I watched the Ballet Rollins NXT clip. That was good. Yeah, it really was. This unhinged but justified Balor is a really cool and layered story. I'm really into it. Me and Andy were saying we think, well, Andy thinks, I'm not so sure. I think Roman might go on last. But we hope it's going to be the main event because that'd be really good for Balor as well. Like Rollins is already over as Roman and he's probably going to win and doesn't really need the rub. But Balor to be in the final match, a big pay-per-view, I know it's the UK, Ireland is a different country, but it's separate from the UK. But the Irish, I've said this before, like Sheamus, Becky Lynch, and Finn Balor, the UK kind of still adopt them for these shows in a way. They are our closest neighbour, our closest ally. So it is not, we're part of the British Isles, even if they're not part of the UK, aren't we? Seth the Defiant against Brom. Yeah, it was a wicked match. Both guys looked awesome in it as well, which I'm really happy about. Have you guys been hearing that Logan Paul is in the Money in the Bank match? We sure have, and I'm really excited about it. I think he's going to put in a good showing. I think him and Ricochet are going to make some crazy viral moments. Ethan could win it. I mean, imagine Logan Paul with that briefcase showing up, crowing about it every now and then, interfering in matches, cashing in, maybe failing to cash in. Maybe he'll cash in that night. God knows what he's going to. Imagine he wins and cashes in on Seth and wins that belt. Imagine the heat. Balor would be furious as well. So you can have that. You can maybe have, because they're doing something with Balor and Priest, aren't they? So there's so many avenues they can take this year with Money in the Bank. I'm actually quite impressed with how they've laid it. I really am. Not massively impressed with this episode, but I'm impressed with everything else. Logan Paul already been out. Yep. Yeah, agreed, mate. I joked and I said, nice to see Prince Devitt finally debut with WWE. Yeah, well, to be fair, I think he's channeled Prince Devitt a few times in his WWE career. Funnily enough, it's usually in NXT. I feel like Judgment Day has been a little bit too panto villain to be the 2014 Balor or Prince Devitt, the vicious little monster that ran around New Japan and founded the Bullet Club with Tama Tonga and Bad Luck Fale. Then Carl Anderson, am I right? Gallows and a few other guys. Hi, JD Smith. How you doing? Logan probably has a handshake agreement to win the title. Can't it happening in the future? I'm fine with that. Like, I want to see a heel Logan Paul champion at some point. I like the idea of him sticking around more to annoy, because I get he's easy to dislike. I get that. But if I'm just judging it from what he's done in the ring and what he's done within WWE, and I'm not looking at anything he's done outside of it, I see a lot to like. And obviously we've had discussion off the screen because of how controversial and triggering it could be. But in WWE, I've got no problem with Logan Paul. And I'm not one of these Logan Paul apologists or fans of him outside of wrestling. I don't know much about him outside of wrestling. I know he has a podcast and boxes a bit. That's all I know. I don't care enough about influencers, I suppose, to to know that stuff. Finn Balor goes sometimes as himself, other times Demon King. Yeah, he does. Logan definitely has a great version of the Buckshot Lariat. Norma, you make an amazing point because I personally believe he has the best Buckshot Lariat in wrestling. No disrespect to any other wrestlers in any other companies that also might do that move as a finisher, but I think Logan does it with a little bit more of a spring in his step, which makes the move look a little bit more savage and less stiff. That's just me. Also, as well, that move, it's all about the person selling as well. So the person, like, you can sell that move in a crap way, or you can sell that move in an awesome way. And I think he's also got lucky with that sometimes. Judgment Day is what Vince thought the OC was. It was WWE's Bullet Club. Yeah. Although, like, because I've never been of the view that the Bloodline, Finn Balor has worked in the Bloodline. I love Finn Balor. I love the Bloodline. But I've never been... I always liked the Edge iteration with Edge on that throne and his angels or his angels of death next to him, you know, Rhea and Priest. That was the iteration of the Bloodline I liked. Not the Bloodline, Judgment Day. It was a bit hammy, but yeah, I liked it. I've always felt Balor's a little bit out of place there. I get that they're trying to do a pantomime Bullet Club do-over. I get that. Yeah, Judgment Day, exactly. But it has done wonders for Balor, which I'm all for. So I'm not going to criticize it or anything like that because I love what they do with Balor at the moment. I love that they're turning Balor into a secondary big bad. You got to remember, dude, that's your opinion. I really liked it. Like, because the report I heard is they wanted to do some supernatural BS, and Edge then hated that idea and ran away. And as a part-timer, he could. That's why I don't know how true that is. It might be BS, but I liked it. I actually thought it was hammy for a time. It was hammy, but I think Edge had a bigger presence as the leader of the stable. I think Balor is great in factions, great as the leader of factions, but when he stood next to Priest, I don't know. I'm Ripley. I don't know if it works. This is the Finn Balor I've wanted to see. This vicious guy who's actually like, it's the Kevin Owens thing. It's like Kevin Owens, all the times he's been a heel. So many times when Kevin Owens has been a heel, he's been justified. He's been absolutely right in what he's been saying. And I kind of get that with Balor right now. I think Seth has been a bit of a scumbag in kayfabe. And Balor has been... Yeah, but I think Seth has gone too far with some of the things he said to Balor. If I was Balor and someone had taken the mickey out of my injury that they caused and had insulted my title reign and had gone on to take the accolades that I was meant to have gotten and then had been savage about it and had boasted about it, yeah, I'd probably go to the extremes Balor's gone to. So I'm cheering Balor in this feud. I don't think he's going to win it, but I am cheering it. And while I've been rabbiting away. So the question is, did they make that secondary title for Seth or Logan? They made it for everybody who's going to hold it, I think. Well, the promise of that title is they're going to stick it on a babyface who's going to defend it every week. It was the anti-Roman Reigns title, wasn't it? That was the idea. Triple H came out and said as much. So if they stick it on a heel straight away, it's either the best swerve ever or it's a really, really silly decision. Because it is good to have a babyface champion. Although I know Seth is overwhelmingly a babyface, but he's kept his heel persona. He's still the smarmy little bugger who goes and does all of that. He's still the Joker if the Joker was a good guy. CM Punk agrees with you that Logan has the best buckshot lariat. Well, in that case, I abandon the view. No, I'm joking. Hey, I agree. Never do that move again, Punk, unless you're going to do it well. But the whole point of him doing that was in storyline anyway. But yeah, it didn't come off on the day, but doesn't mean it might not come off again, you know. He looks better than every other guy because he's physically bigger and explodes off the mat. Yeah, perhaps. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some really, really cool times where Hangman Page has used it. In fact, back in the day when I was watching Ring of Honor, and he did it in Ring of Honor when he was teaming with the Young Bucks there, it was a really impressive finisher. But for some reason, it's just not translated as well to a bigger stage in AEW. I don't know why that is. But when I was watching like the weekly Ring of Honor shows, and he was in like, you know, very fast-paced matches with the Briscoes or the Kingdom, or whoever else, it looks really impressive. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the bigger stage. Maybe it doesn't quite hit as hard. You know, when you watch something live and it looks amazing, and then you see it on TV and it's just like not quite, doesn't hit the same way. I don't know. I'm really impressed the way CM Punk goes back to AW Dynamite and Collision 2. Yeah, it's nice that they've all. Obviously, we don't know what's happening backstage. It could be anything. It's nice that at least the company is moving forward and everybody's back. With those stupid scuba sleeves. Yeah, the outfit have been a bit questionable as well. But then again, I don't think we can criticize Balor when you see some of the stuff that Rollins wears. But that's part of Rollins' gimmick, isn't it? Rollins' gimmick is one part of Rollins' gimmick is he wears ridiculously flamboyant outfits, and I'm down with that. Taylor, they also have the next week promo Money in the Bank. So much changes. Yeah, exactly. And I'm worried, you know, tonight is going to get a bit of a backlash from, no pun intended at all, from a few fans, and might kind of go down along with the Raw after Mania, which I was at and really enjoyed. Sat in the crowd, you know, when Brock turned on Cody, they got us. I promise you now, when we were in the crowd, like he was hovering behind him like a great white shark, and it was always like, if Brock Lesnar's behind you, you should be worried. And then they did it, but it still got us. Yeah, they made it for Seth Rollins. Agreed. Like when Rollins came out and did that first promo about it, he was the overwhelmingly the favorite to win it. And he does need to have a decent reign, otherwise they kind of cheapen that, don't they? But he can't hold it forever. But it is nice to have a babyface world champion while we've got Roman Reigns holding the other one hostage, which was the point, you know, which was the point of doing it. I heard someone say that there's a match between Dominic Mysterio and Cody Rhodes at the Money in the Bank in London. There certainly is, Juan. It's on the card. Me and Andy were discussing it on Wrestling Royalty stream earlier, and that's not a match I'm massively looking forward to. So I'm kind of no disrespect to either guy. I think both guys are great. You know, like Mysterio's heat is just superb. And I enjoy Cody very much. You might be able to tell. But it just feels a bit more of a TV match to me. That's all. I predict some angles, like perhaps a wild beast will appear and attack Cody. At least I hope so. Because that'll be the second time I've seen Brock Lesnar demolish Cody in person. So that'd be cool. Poor Cody. Yeah, that's a good point. He did it a second time. Punk and the Elite are going to be in the same building with each other on Sunday. Should be interesting. I mean, they're fully grown men with functioning brains. I mean, Jesus Christ. All I've got to say about that at this point, if there's still anything going on, is grow up to them. Like, I mean, Jesus. Like we all work I don't actually get on with everybody I work with, but we've all worked with people we don't get on with in the past. Not necessarily had fist fights with them, with dogs being ushered out of the room and people biting each other. But I mean, there's so much water has gone under the bridge. Yes, you're all big stars. You're all heavily invested and involved in the company backstage. But Khan is the boss. Whether or not he's cracking the whip back there or not, I don't know. But I swear to God, if I was their boss, I'd be figuratively cracking their heads together or literally cracking their heads together if they weren't doing as I say. You know, like, make an example, fire somebody, do something. I don't know, like, but the fact that they're all back to work and they're all, you know, like Punk was on Dynamite. I'm optimistic. And again, they are all grown-ups. And even the things Punk said in his coming back promo was all predetermined and prearranged. So, and the books have been pretty magnanimous when talking about that promo. So, yeah, the Usos are back and killing poor Solo. Which is a little bit healy, because I kind of thought, I didn't know they'd do that, but my God, they must be angry at Solo. But yeah, my point is, they need to be grown-ups. Be grown-ups or leave. That is what I'd say. I'm so sick of thinking about Brawl Out. It ruined AW for me for a long time. It soured it for me. So I'm very much, I want to move on from it as well. I'm sick of thinking about it. I'm sick of talking about it. I just want AEW to go back to being AEW. And that's it. I think Dominic is beating Cody for the heat. See, me and Andy were discussing this, and we think, like, imagine if that happens, it'd have to be through shenanigans. Obviously, it's not going to be clean, is it? But imagine Dominic Mysterio crowing about that on TV for weeks to come. I kind of want to see it. But I think he is. I think Brock Lesnar's interfering. And he's going to, I think Cody's going to win the match by DQ because Brock's going to come out and kill him. That's what I think is going to happen. But yeah, I reckon that's what I think anyway. Or is it a bit too predictable? I'd love to know what you think. Vince did finish. Trips wanted to do the Rollins Open Challenge. Yeah. But on SmackDown? Well, he never got to do it on Raw, did he, I suppose? Maybe they'll do it next week on Raw. But let's be honest, Seth can't do his Open Challenge at the moment, can he? Because every time he does, Balor comes out and attacks him. So, which is great. That's a great storyline. It gets Seth out of wrestling every week because, you know, sometimes you can't do that. But it's a great angle. Like, you've got the number one contender not allowing you to do an open challenge because he doesn't want you to risk losing it. He wants your blood at the pay-per-view. I love that. This is about Solo suspended for 2. Yeah. See, I'm not a fan of that, what they just did, having the Usos come out and attack Solo Sikoa, because I feel like the Usos should want Solo to see things from their point of view, not just gleefully beat up their younger brother. I don't know if that fits the story. I think, like, they're mad at Roman, but like they were, Solo has been gaslit by Roman. Solo is essentially a victim of Roman, like they were. Like, Sammy was right. So, yeah, I just feel a bit awkward about that episode. I feel like it's been a great stream, but I was really looking forward to that show, and I feel like it's not hit like I thought it was going to. And hey, Prince Ali, sorry I'm late getting to your comment. Good to see you, dude. I would not accept if Dominic Mysterio is going to beat up Cody Rhodes. What's going to happen, I think, Juan, is Dom's going to keep cheating and being a coward and cheating, and Rhea's going to get involved. Maybe, like, word on the street is Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes are having a street fight on Wednesday night in Liverpool.
I'll be in attendance, so I'll let you know if that's true. Because there's been 2 cards have been released to the media in the UK, so somebody's made a mistake somewhere. But that's the card I booked my tickets based on. Because I'm going as a fan. We've reached out to the media team, but part of me wants to go as a fan. But if I get some media, that'd be cool. It's my job after all. But yeah, that's what I hear. So that would be a good way to, further that story. Maybe Dom could come out of the house show and crow at Cody, give Balor the opportunity to beat him up, because they want Balor to look strong as well. Let's not forget Balor's, challenging for a heavyweight title 2 days later or 3 days later. So, God, 3 wrestling shows in 1 week in different parts of the UK, 1 in the north, 2 in the south. Mad. It's going to feel a little bit like WrestleMania all over again. That week, we saw Raw, SmackDown, both Mania shows, and NXT, and I still wasn't fatigued. I think the boys were, but I wasn't. I could have done it. I could have gone again. Yeah, Brock attacks Cody. Oh, Don would win by DQ. I tell you every week, Misfit, it's 3 a.m. God, I've forgotten how DQs work. That's how tired I am. Right. Okay, let me just read this one. I don't think you'd have a huge amount of choice, Juan. Because I think Brock's coming out and attacking Cody, which means I think Dom's going to win. Is that right? If you hit the guy, if you interfere on some person's behalf, doesn't the other person win? So if Brock attacks Cody, doesn't Cody win because he's the one who's been attacked? Isn't it Dom who then loses? I could be wrong. I've brain fog. I've always been under the impression that if someone interferes, it's like, I don't know. I got tired. I'm gonna have to brush up on the wrestling rules. Fun fact: Solo earned his name by being. I see what you did there. Right, yeah, see what I mean, Misfit. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I thought I was going mad then. Did you see the cogs in my brain going? Brock is facing Cody in a Texas bull rope match at SummerSlam is the plan. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. What was that? Didn't they just do a gimmicky match? Or am I thinking of something else? Because I hate bull rope matches. They do my head in. Every WWE fan thinks Cody Rhodes should win at Money in the Bank in London. Although, yeah, but he's not in the match, which chops out a significant swathe of WWE fans. See, I kind of like the idea of LA Knight winning it, but now I've kind of got Damian Priest in my head as well. I don't know who I want to win. I'm just going to be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, Cody is facing Dominic Mysterio. Juan. Curious, what Bullet Club t-shirt? I'm glad you asked, Luke. It is the Cody Rhodes one from the Ring of... There it is. From the Ring of Honor days. I was going to say, mirrors work in reverse. Yes, it's that one. I think I've got them all, The only one I don't wear anymore. Well, there's one I don't wear anymore. Let's load it. I see. Here's the thing, Misfit. With that, I've always been under the impression that I've got this two. You burned it. Holy hell. See, I don't know what I think about that, because in the UK, our laws are different. Certain ages, but you're allowed to do certain things are lower than in America. It's 16 is the age of consent. So I'm not going to get into the whole Marty School thing, but so I think I haven't looked into that story deeply enough, but because I'll tell you now, when I was 16, I was sleeping with other 16-year-olds. I promise you now. But anyway, that's probably not something we should discuss on stream. But there you go. But yeah, that's the one I don't wear anymore, Misfit, because it just doesn't seem appropriate to. I don't know. Oh, of course, mate. Yeah, totally. Of course. Again, I don't want to defame or make any allegations against anybody when I'm live on a stream. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think it's important for Americans to understand that for you guys, drinking is over 21 in a lot of states, and having it away is 18. Where in the UK, it's 16, and you know, when we're teenagers, we take full advantage of that. At least I did when I was a teenager. I've been a married man for a very, very long time. So, and I'm in my 30s now, so such a thing wouldn't. Oh no, but you know what I mean. But of course, I understand. But again, you know, we have cultural differences. I think where people don't realise how socially liberal we are in the UK. People think we're very posh and stiff upper lip. We're not. We're actually a nation of party animals and hooligans. We really are. It's always been the way. Just go to a football match. You'll soon see what I mean. Wait until you see that crowd at Money in the Bank. My God, they are going to be a noisy bunch of gits. Let's do a few more comments. Yeah, need to grab a switchblade tee. Yeah, me too, actually. That's one of the ones I don't have. I feel like I missed the boat with it. That is true, Juan. That is on the card. Cody is indeed facing Dominic Mysterio. Cody Rhodes. Money in the Bank. Juan, the pay-per-view. That is where Cody is facing Dominic. It is on the card. I think that CM Punk is going to join Bullet Club Gold. Wow! I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think he should. I do think he should turn heel, though. 100%. Do I like the idea of... I'd love to know your views on this, Misfit. I like the idea of him saying, do you know what? Screw all of you, and then him helping MJF. I love that idea. I love the idea of him just enabling MJF and the two of them kind of working as some evil duo until one inevitably turns on the other. I'd enjoy that. It'd give MJF some armor as well, help him retain that title by cheating a lot more. Imagine Punk leading his own Bullet Club in AW, but I think that would dilute Punk, and I think it would dilute Jay White as well. Let's also not forget that the Bullet Club guys in Japan, like David Finlay, are, as far as they are concerned, not all of them. I know there's been some, was it Yujiro and ELP weren't happy about it. I know ELP's been booted out, and Finlay is now brought in a whole cohort, hasn't he, of Rev Pro guys and LA Dojo guys into Bullet Club, a lot of new blood. But as far as I understand, ELP, Juice Robinson, and Jay White have all been kicked out of Bullet Club, and Juice Robinson and Jay White are essentially leading a fake faction of Bullet Club that isn't endorsed by the wider faction. A little bit like how the OC was considered a fake faction, but then Gallows and Anderson rejoined Bullet Club officially, never officially left, and then reformed the OC when they went back to WWE. So I feel like the more waters have got really muddy with Bullet Club and who's included and who isn't. But that's always been the case, because I remember Tama Tonga saying years ago, Bullet Club exists in WWE unofficially. You know who they are, and I know who they are. And obviously, he's referencing Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and the Good Brothers. But I don't think New Japan saw it that way, even if Tama Tonga did. But I like the idea of Bullet Club having lots of different offshoots. And it'd be fun. I'd like it if David Finlay, if he is indeed Bullet Club's official new leader, was to endorse Bullet Club Gold as a way of having his troops in AEW. And I think they are probably building to Finlay versus Jay White at some point. I'd enjoy that. And who knows, maybe Finlay will attack Jay White at Forbidden Door. Now that I'd enjoy. Misfit told me that Cody Rhodes ain't added yet to the Money in the Bank. No, I think you misunderstand. You misunderstood one. He was telling you that he's not in the Money in the Bank match, the ladder match. He is on the Money in the Bank card. He is officially booked to wrestle Dominic Mysterio next week on Saturday. That I can tell you that as a reporter or as a podcaster or whatever the hell. I can tell you that is officially what is happening. And Misfit will agree. So this is kind of a joke, but how about CM Punk and Hangman in a blind tag tournament? I think CM Punk versus Hangman and versus the money match is him versus Omega, though. That's what I want to see. Make it happen. And if you don't make it happen, you cowards. That is what I think. To everyone involved, you cowards. Do it. If Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels can overcome their beef, anyone can. Put down your handbags and make some goddamn money. How about that? I think we've addressed this Cody thing long enough. Final thoughts, final comment I'm putting up on screen. Cody is at Money in the Bank facing Dominic Mysterio. Jay White can't be on New Japan shows, though. Why not? Because they have a partnership with AEW, so presumably anyone could be on a New Japan show. If both companies endorse it. I don't think things are so rigid, unless there's something I don't know. Cole on MJF versus Punk and Hangman. No, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. I'd love that. Imagine the storytelling we could have with that. Right then, guys. This stream has been going on for 2 hours and nearly 13 minutes. I've got to go to bed. I don't have to be up in the morning. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Misfit. You're absolutely right. He lost a loser leaves New Japan match. But stipulations can be unstipulated, as we've learned the hard way over the years. Nothing's ever set in stone. But you're right. They should honour that for a while, at least. They should honour that for a while. Which is why... Yeah, exactly. Kayfabe, yeah. So I'd forgotten about that stip. But they can do it in AW. Wouldn't surprise me if what are those things called that Sheamus and Finlay like to hit people with? Is it shillelagh? But it's in Japan, a New Japan show. Oh, so are they holding that stipulation for Forbidden Door as well? Because I thought that as a back door, he could be on it. See, I think they should get around that somehow. Because I kind of want to see Finlay attack Jay White, or at least endorse him, do something. Because this Bullet Club Gold thing is kind of stuck in limbo. Yeah, good. Okay, cool. Right then, guys. So I'm going to end it. We'll do our usual thing that we do. Match of the night, performer of the night, score out of 10. I feel like they had a show planned that was going to do some build to the pay-per-view, and for whatever reason, it got squandered and they spun the wheels. Like, yeah, the Usos attacked Solo Sikoa, but so what? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that furthered anything. Yes, it gathered some more heat, but in another way, it took some of the heat off the heels, like Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, now both look like chumps. So they didn't last week. Last week it was good storytelling. This week it's just the Usos being vicious dicks for just to. I don't like it. Now, my honest opinion is Vince needs to stop with these rewrites. Just stop. Get away from creative. Fine with him being there, handling the bigger picture stuff, but every time these major rewrites happen, sorry, itchy nose. Every time these rewrites happen, we get a nothing show like that. Some good wrestling on it, but I don't feel like we're any closer to Money in the Bank storyline wise than we were from Raw. That might as well. It was a throwaway episode in my opinion. That was a complete throwaway episode, and I'm a bit disappointed really. I hope Raw is a bit better, and I hope the SmackDown I'm going to be at in person is a bit better really. Yeah, it's a bit of a downer, isn't it really? Other than that, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. And I'm not going to give anybody. I shouldn't know. I'll give Solo Sikoa performer of the night because he looked like a dominant monster in that match, and I'll give the main event. Actually, no, I'm not giving main event match of the night. I'm not having match of the night. I don't think. No, pretty deadly match of the night because they were entertaining. But yeah, I'm quite disappointed by that show, and I know there was reports of frustration backstage as well, and I can kind of see why. Oh, of course, Rampage is happening, isn't it? See, if I had some more stamina, I'd watch it, but I haven't seen Dynamite yet fully. But yeah, okay, guys, we've had a great stream. It's been a great show here. This side, it's been some awesome conversations and stuff, guys. But let's hope it picks up before the pay-per-view. Let's hope we, especially for the SmackDown, I'm going to be at in person the night before, and the house show will be good before the pay-per-view as well. So I'll let you know how all that goes on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, there's my tag. Have a little look. If you wouldn't mind supporting WrestleSphere, that'd be great because me, Dom, Andy, and some guest interviewers sometimes as well. We actually sit down sometimes in person with the wrestlers and have a little bit of a chat. Sometimes we do it over Zoom. But AEW, WWE, MLW, and Impact have all got us on their circuit, letting us interview their guys. So that's great. It's lovely that all the big companies have acknowledged WrestleSphere and are happy to let us interview their talent. So we're really excited about WrestleSphere. If you don't know, WrestleSphere is a spin-off of Dom's Soundsphere magazine, which is a really successful music magazine. So successful that it's kind of evolved and is now picking up popular culture. We decided to spin off WrestleSphere because we were spending so much time writing about wrestling on Soundsphere. So it's going really, really well. But if you guys could support WrestleSphere as vociferously as you do Gimme a Holy Air, that'd be amazing. We'd love that. We'd love you for that. Well, there won't be a SmackDown stream with me next week or with Dom or with Andy because we'll all be in London watching SmackDown in person. But I don't know if one of the boys is going to pick it up. We will have to wait and see. If not, we might have to give it a miss. The week after that, I'm on holiday. So same again. One of the guys might either cover for me or we'll take a break. But we'll let you know closer to the time what's happening on Friday night, either way. Even if we pop in on our phones and say hello, we might do something. We'll figure something out. But yeah, I'm waffling on. Just before I go, a little bit of housekeeping. So we do have memberships that you can get involved in on the channel to suit all budgets, really, as well. Like if you want to be a Hulkamaniac, I think we've had a few more since then. I think I'm using out-of-date slides here. Let me just see if there are some better ones. I haven't used up-to-date slides. Don't know why mine have gone out of date. But anyway, we have the Hulkamaniacs here. Got a couple of people on there. We have the Hardcore Hulkamaniacs. Now, we do have people on there. For some reason, they're not showing on my slide. And then we have Sassy, who is our Hulkamaniac champion. Long may she reign. So I don't know why those are out of date, because the ones I saw Ant do on the Dynamite stream had Mark LFC on there, who's our Hardcore Hulkamaniac. So, right. Guys, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. You guys keep me awake, and I have so much fun chatting to you all. So, yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. I don't know when I'm going to see you next, maybe in about 2 weeks, but we will figure something out, as I've said time and time again. Right then, who are we going to have as our outro? Because we didn't have an intro, because I was too busy faffing about. I realise what I did wrong now, but anyway. Let's have the coolest guy ever. Okay, guys, see you soon.
This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Hall. Yeah, I hope everyone there, right there in Yorkshire, is having a nice day. Bang, bang. Have a nice day. Yeah.